Imagine being given the power to turn anything you touch into gold. A stone, a flower, a tree, even the walls of your palace. At first, it would feel like a miracle. You would laugh. You would celebrate. You would believe that the gods had finally chosen you. But then, you would reach for your food, and it would become gold. You would reach for your wine. It would turn to gold. And suddenly, you couldn't drink. You would try to embrace someone you love. And suddenly, the greatest gift in the world would become your greatest nightmare. This is the story of King Midas, the man who got exactly what he wished for, and discovered that getting everything can sometimes mean losing everything. Long ago, in the ancient kingdom of Phrygia, there lived a king named Midas. He was powerful. He was wealthy. He lived surrounded by servants, treasures, and magnificent possessions. But there was something he wanted more than anything else. More wealth, more gold, more power. Because Midas believed that gold could give him something even greater than riches, security. If he had enough gold, he would never have to fear losing his kingdom, never fear poverty, never fear helplessness. And perhaps, deep inside, he believed that the more he possessed, the more important he would become. Then one day, something extraordinary happened. A satyr named Silenus, an old companion and teacher of the god Dionysus, became separated from his master. He was eventually brought before Midas. But instead of punishing him, Midas welcomed him. He treated him generously. He gave him food, drink, shelter, and after several days, he returned Silenus safely to Dionysus. The god was grateful, and Dionysus offered Midas a reward. One wish. Anything he wanted. Think about that moment. If someone placed unlimited power in your hands, what would you ask for? Midas didn't hesitate. He didn't ask for wisdom. He didn't ask for happiness. He didn't ask for a longer life. He asked for something that seemed far more valuable. He wanted everything he touched to turn into gold, and the god granted his wish. At first, Midas was overwhelmed with joy. He touched a branch. Gold. A stone. Gold. An apple. Gold. The doors of his palace. Gold. Everything around him became more precious with every touch. He had done it. He had become richer than any king could possibly imagine. His dream had come true. But there was one thing Midas had forgotten. A human being cannot live on gold. His servants prepared a magnificent feast. Midas sat at the table, surrounded by everything he had ever desired. He reached for the bread. It turned to gold. He picked up a piece of fruit. Gold. And suddenly, even food became worthless. He raised a cup of wine to his lips, and the wine became gold before he could drink it. Suddenly, the palace that had seemed like heaven felt like a prison. His wealth could not feed him. His gold could not quench his thirst. His greatest possession had become the very thing threatening his life. And then came the moment when Midas finally understood. He had not been given a gift. He had been given a curse, created by his own desire. He begged Dionysus to take the power away. And this time, Midas wasn't asking for more. He was asking for less. He wanted something he had once taken for granted, ordinary life. Dionysus took pity on him. He instructed Midas to go to the river Pactolus and wash away the golden power in its waters. Midas followed the instructions, and as he entered the river, the curse left him. The gold flowed into the river, and Midas was free. But something had changed. The king who had once believed that gold was everything, now understood its true value. Gold could buy possessions. It could build palaces. It could create kingdoms. But it could not create the things that make life worth living. Food, love, human connection, peace, and perhaps most importantly, enough. Because the real tragedy of Midas was never that he wanted gold. It was that he believed more gold would finally be enough. And that is what makes this ancient myth feel strangely modern. We may not turn everything we touch into gold, but sometimes we chase money until we sacrifice our time. We chase success until we lose our peace. We chase possessions until we forget why we wanted them. We keep saying, just a little more. More money, more recognition, more achievement, more followers, more success. And then, one day, we discover something Midas learned the hardest way possible. There is a point where having more doesn't make life richer. It simply makes us poorer in the things that cannot be bought. Midas wanted the world to become gold. Instead, gold became the thing that almost destroyed his world. And perhaps that is the strangest part of the story. The curse was never really in his hands. It was in his desire. So the next time you find yourself thinking, if I could just have a little more, Pause for a moment, because sometimes the most dangerous wish is the one that sounds completely reasonable. And if you enjoy stories that reveal the extraordinary hidden inside the familiar, there are many more waiting beyond the ordinary.